To us, capacity building underlies our ability to tackle climate change, and particularly building capacity of the most vulnerable people, because they are being affected now.
There cannot be raising of ambition without building capacity. So we need the capacity building, and we need the capacity building hub in order to bring all of the stakeholders together. And that is one of the main characteristics of this place, that we really have a large and wide variety of all stakeholder groups coming together here. We got experts from academia, we got local decision makers, we got people from development cooperation agencies, we got financing people. I see our friend from the NDC partnership. We got everybody who is engaged in building the NDCs, and that should be exactly what this place does.
So we have been running a capacity building day event at the COP for a number of years, and then a couple of years ago we joined forces with the Paris Committee on capacity building.
Capacity building day under the PCCB hub is meant for sensitizing and starting the dialogue on different aspects of capacity building.
At the Capacity Building Day, we had the consultations on the PCCB network to be established soon, and we got many valuable feedback from all the participants, so it was very interested in the discussion and very participated. So we will make use of all those suggestions and set up a successful PCCB network.
So it was about capacity building and indicators for adaptation. And the conclusion has been that simply having simple indicators like number of participants, number of workshops does not give you the actual story of whether capacity building has been effective. So it is more important to see how did the mechanism to build capacity work.
So we just had a session on developing indicators for many of capacity building initiatives, where we shared an approach taken by this project called the ICAT, Initiative for Climate Action Transparency, which essentially aims to deliver on the requirements set by the Paris Agreement for enhanced transparency and accountability. So this project sets out to deliver countries' need for enhanced reporting, and it does so by improving monitoring and evaluation of adaptation measures, and also by enhancing the ability of countries to track the effectiveness of adaptation interventions.
So I think ICAT, the Initiative for Climate Action Transparency, is special in two ways. One is that we're focusing on in the adaptation component at least, on a bottom-up approach, while at the same time being very strongly connected to what governments are telling us they need in terms of the gaps in assessing progress towards adaptation. And the M&E, the monitoring and evaluation that is connected to that, is where we try to fill this gap.
This was a very exciting session here. We looked into different topics. One was the use of blockchain for registry system of a new generation. Next is using blockchain or other advanced innovative digital approaches for MRVing, which means measuring what different climate action mitigation measures actually bring on the ground. There's a lot of potential there. And the third is how to use these new information technologies to advance climate finance, and how to pay for climate finance, for instance, in a new way, so that one can do more upscaling. And we had
in our roundtable, we discussed an online community platform where we took feedback from all of the stakeholders sitting on a table. We got from different sectors such as government, NGOs, and the private sector, and it was really exciting to know all of their opinions on how this platform should be designed.
So what was important about this session is to give us the know-how. We are starting the implementation of the Paris Accord, and these side events show us how gender can be mainstream in climate change action and why it is important and why it makes the difference.
Second, I think it was really clear that we need to strengthen the movement of gender equality in climate action worldwide, and that means exchanging experiences and connecting from the lowest level, from the communities to the NGOs and to the policymakers and decision takers. And really conducting all this line is the way that we are going to actually put the voices of women into action.
Well, I think these sessions and these side events help us all to know about different experiences, different programs and actions taken by other countries, and it becomes actually an exchange of ideas and experiences that help us to start dialogues and conversations with other country parts.
It was a fascinating discussion. There were presentations on how legal and institutional capacity at the moment to implement the Paris Agreement is weak, and law can foster, not just frustrate, sustainable development and the Paris Agreement implementation if we can change this situation and turn things around. So we think that while capacity that is truly sticky and belongs to each country and is embedded in the domestic systems and cultures and governance systems may be weak, it is possible to strengthen this. And that was, I think, one of the most inspiring aspects of the session today.
I took away a number of things, but in particular, I think what we all found striking was that law, which is so often thought of as something that can almost hinder capacity or limit or place some brakes on capacity, has actually been identified as something that can be very much facilitative of capacity.
So this capacity building session was about youth and innovation, and we talked a lot about how to engage youth online through workshops or just social media platforms that share content online. And we do that in Poder Clima, Care About Climate, with climate justice. So we learned that when we start sharing content and education with young people, that's how we raise climate ambition in the long run. So it was a very useful session.
So I guess for me the essential two key messages is that first is the action. It's so urgent, we need to act at the local level, and we need to find out the bottom-up approach, which is context-specific, which is looking at the vulnerable groups' interests and they self-identify the priorities. And also secondly, it's about how civil society act collectively. So we need to be more innovative and inclusive to work with different actors across sectors, especially to, for example, researchers, to the public sector, and also not to exclude the private sector for technology advancement and also possible funding allocation.
So I think my key takeaways from this session were that the Snowflake model of training the trainers is the best way to increase capacity in youth from around the world by engaging one youth and then bringing them up the leadership ladder and helping them to support other youth is one of the most important ways that we can support ACE and capacity building worldwide.